Hello and welcome to Talented Migrants. My name is Steven, and today we're going to learn how to migrate a WordPress website to Django. Now, if you have stumbled across this video by mistake, you might be wondering, why would one want to migrate a WordPress website into Django or to Django and Python? Well, there are several reasons why you might want to do that, just like I did. Now we are going to actually explore the WordPress dashboard, and I'll show you the reason why I decided to move some of my websites from WordPress to Django. So this is my WordPress admin board, okay? And don't worry, I'm not hiding my admin username, because these are not my actual credentials, okay? Besides, you cannot access my WordPress login page. You can never log in. I have these things being taken care of by my own plugin, so yeah, I'll show you that later. So this is the dashboard, right? This is the WordPress dashboard. Now, the good thing about WordPress is there are so many good free stuff, already made templates and themes and plugins here. So with WordPress you can actually get a website created in less than few minutes, because everything is already made. All you need to do is to just explore, just go through them, just scroll through them, grab the one that feels good for you, and that is it. All that you need to do is to customize it. Just start changing the text, colors, and if you want to restructure it. That's one good thing about WordPress. But the thing is, who actually create these things? Why are they free? What are their intentions? What are their experience level? Okay, now you know these guys have spent some time, days, months, they spend a lot creating these things, and some of them are even paying money for hosting and stuff. So why would someone do this for you for free? I mean, yeah, there are good people out there, they can do this for you, but you just cannot trust all of them. There are so many templates here. I mean, thousands of them. There are thousands of them here. So you just cannot trust all these guys, because you don't know. And this is where hackers try to they're just trying their hacking skills. So if you're not careful, you will just install a theme or a plugin or a template that can ruin your entire website. Okay, WordPress themes and templates are created, most of the code is PHP. So if you are a newbie, someone who does not know PHP very well, you're gonna have a hard time understanding what the code is doing. So, and most people doesn't even go through the source code. They just look at the template or whatever, say, oh, this is beautiful, let me just install it, and then they just install it. And so far as the theme is beautiful and it's doing what it said, they don't care. They just don't care what is happening behind the scene. The problem is, there could be some kind of code in the source code that does something really ugly. Like, they can steal your database, they can steal your emails, they can steal your credentials. You should always go through the source code of every theme or plugin before you actually use it. And here is the thing, what if you don't know PHP? That is the thing. Okay, so this is one thing, this is one reason why I decided to move. You might say, okay, so the thing is you cannot just stay away from plugins while on WordPress. It's impossible. You either have to download a plugin or create it yourself, because WordPress does not give you full access, direct access to your website source code. So let's say that you just want to do something. Let's say that you want to change a part of your code, your website, just want to inject a code, customize it. Well, WordPress does not give you that access. You cannot just open the footer or the header like this, the footer. You cannot just open the footer source code and put anything here. That's not possible in WordPress. You have to use a theme or a plugin of some kind. And this is where the problem comes from. If you don't know how to code in PHP, then you have to install it. And how do you know which one is the best, which one is good? Okay, anyone can create a website, a plugin or a theme. The problem is, what is their intentions? What are their intentions? What are their experience level? What are they up to? So it can be a very challenging thing to know which one is good and which one is bad, especially if you don't know coding. So I said, well, that's why I created my own plugin. So this is my site, and this header on the footer is powered by that plugin. So, and I also have a chat robot. All these is powered by my own plugin. Okay, in the footer, a lot. The CSS, JavaScript, everything is powered by my own plugin. One good thing about this plugin is this. So if you go to the settings, if I just go to the plugin and go to the admin section, this is where I can control everything, injecting my own custom code. This is the settings. If you try to log into my website, you have only 3 attempts. Sometimes this depends. You can just hide it, you can just redirect the user and stuff. So you have full control over your site. There's a lot of features here. I'm not going to go through everything because I'm not marketing my plugin. If you go to the error message section, here you can customize the messages you want to display to users who are interrupting your site, like login. When you try to log in, what message do you want to display, like and so forth. Notifications, you can have all the notifications sent to your email right away in real time. Custom email, you just a lot. Custom code, this is where you can inject code into your WordPress website. PHP code, the navigation menu. Here, if I turn this folder, custom folder off, and then I visit my site, the footer is going to be gone. This section will be gone. So if I turn it on and save the changes, that section will be gone. I also have the manage boot. This is where I can see all the messages. So if someone visit my site and start chat, I think I have another one here, virtual course analysis. Okay, so if someone visit my website and start to chat, the person first need to enter a username or a name, and then an email before they can start chatting. Then click start. That thing will do its thing, and then the chat will start soon. And then you start your chatting. Also, I can delete message. So this message I can either forward, delete for me, or delete for all. So let me just click. You see, you deleted this message. Now what is happening? All this message, these chat history will be sent. You can see you also have it here. So these messages will be sent to the back end, not here. These messages will all come here. Names, I can get all the list of people who has interrupted, visited the site and installed the chat app here. Emails, I can export the chat, and much more. I can delete messages, I can edit them, I can edit any message I want. So that's one good thing about the plugin. Okay, and that is not all. That messages, I can also get the messages notification right in my email. So you can see this is chat history, right? This is the chat history including the domain, so you can get all the details. As is the message hard is the actual message. So this is a chat history. You got the user IP address, the country, all the details. You can configure the plugin to take as much details as you wish. Okay, so yeah, that's really fantastic. It's really good thing. And then the plugin also have another feature, like you can test the speed of any website on your site. So if I just go to one of my websites here and just see if I can get one of this and just grab okay, let me just take this one here, copy that, and then let's test the speed, run the test. You see, I've got a test result for both mobile and desktop, right? Let me test another one. So this is 85, performance 73, and then it's, I think, almost the same thing. Now let's test the other one. So it doesn't have to be your particular, you can test any website of your choice here. That's one good thing about this plugin, having all these features in one plugin. That's really practical. See, this one has 92 for the SEO. This is doing really well, right? Much better than the other one. So yeah, you have all these things from one plugin. And the good thing is, if you will, it's not really easy to have one plugin that comes with all these features in one. So if you combine everything, what the plugin does, it blocks your login and IP address. It can blacklist IP addresses, and a lot, more than 10 or 15, all in one plugin. Now if there are other plugins that does the same thing, but you cannot get one plugin that has all these features. That means you have to install up to, I don't know. But if you have a plugin that does all these things, it reduces the source code, the amount of code in your website, because every plugin comes with its own libraries, links that are not really necessary. Okay, So let's just go back. Let's go back to the plugins section. So again, I don't know if I've already mentioned that if you want to make any changes, if you want to so if you want to customize your theme, your WordPress website, you are going to want to have a child theme here, okay, just like I did here. If I'm not using, if it wasn't that I'm using my own plugin, you wouldn't be able to edit, customize these, all these like adding CSS and JavaScript and other part to your theme. If you do that, you can actually do it. You can do it. But anytime you update the template or the theme, all these things are going to be gone. The only way you can keep them is to have a child theme. The Astra, you can create a child theme there. Now that is really tidy. TD. Is it tidy or TD? Native speakers of English, we need your help here. Is it tidy or TD? Something, I think it's not tidy. Tidy is something that is clean or clean. TD. Anyways, this is not English class. It's something that is tidying, something that is tidying. You have to create, not just tidying alone, but let's say your site is 2 GB, and if you are going to create a child theme, the child theme is going to inherit the parent, so that's going to be times 2, the size of the theme times 2. Now why would you want to have all these things sitting on your server? That is not practical. That's why I decided to create my own plugin. Okay, so that makes things easy. I don't have to worry about updates. I don't have to worry about keeping, losing my, it also makes the site, the source code, very light, very, very light, because every theme, every plugin, every template comes with a whole bunch of libraries: Bootstrap, CSS, JavaScript, PHP and stuff. And sometimes you just don't need these things. They are not supposed to be there. You don't need them. Let's say the person has used an icon. Okay, that's one ugly thing about Bootstrap. They just pile all these things together. So if you're using it, you have all these things sitting there. You might not even use that particular icon, but it's there in your source code, making the code very, very heavy, thereby taking some time to load. It's slowing down your website. So these are some of the things that made me moved from WordPress to Django. So in Django, it's very, very easy to make some changes like modification, customization, without having to worry at all. If you want to change something in Django, you just go to the template folder, if it's the header, you have full access to the source code. You can do whatever you want, and the code is very, very, very small. So these are some of the things, these are some of the reasons why I moved from WordPress to Django. And my current job as a full stack developer and a web hosting technical support engineer, almost every day people are calling, my clients will be calling. Let me just show you. Let me just show you an example. One of my clients who just called me a few minutes ago, and the lodge complained about her website that is taking forever to load. So let's check the site. Let's check the actual website. So let's visit the site. This is the site, and then hit enter. See, this thing is loading. It's taking forever to load. So the client just called me a few minutes ago, and it's WordPress. When I check the site, I noticed that they are using a theme called Medicare. Now that Medicare, the files are corrupted. In fact, if you check, I checked on the footer section, and there was a code that is injected there to send emails. So whenever you submit a form on this website, these emails are being sent to somewhere else instead of the admin or the owner of the site. See, it's still loading. Now these are some of the things, these are some of the concerns. They just install a plugin and a theme, and then they get themselves into these problems. I have no idea how many emails this scammer, or this hacker, has received. This is really disturbing. In Django is there are no free stuff, like there are no really ready-made templates, free ready-made template there that you can actually use like we do in WordPress. I don't know if they do exist somewhere, but I've never come across a Django free-made template themes and plugins anywhere. So you have to create everything yourself. That's the only thing. And to be honest with you, I like it. I just love it. You do, when you create these things yourself, your code is very clean, neat, and very light. Okay, now for me, I don't use Bootstrap. Okay, just to I don't use Bootstrap. I like to code everything myself. So Django is not like WordPress. You get these template free of them and ready-made, whether paid or free, just get them already made. You don't get these things in Django and Python. But for security, you are fully covered when it comes to Python and Django. The security there is very tough. Okay, so now that we talked about WordPress, why WordPress websites are very slow, and the reasons why you might want to migrate. Now let's actually see how we can move a WordPress website to Django. So if you go to the theme forest, there are a lot of themes there. So we're just going to grab one of them and then convert it to Python. So I'm going to use this particular one here. I'm going to use this one. So we just click let's view that theme, see how it is. Right? Okay, I think I like it. I'm not going to use it for anything, just for the sake of this video, so I don't mind. We can do anything. But if you already have your own WordPress website, the steps or the process is going to be the same. So far as it's WordPress, even if it's a custom HTML website, it's still going to be the same thing. It's just much like creating a new Django project, so don't worry. All you need to do is to just follow along. And also note that we are not going to migrate all these pages and posts and any internal pages like articles, blogs and stuff. We're just going to migrate the home page and everything in it. And then in my next video we will actually migrate everything. Like if you've got posts, articles, news and stuff, we can migrate all these things. But today we're just going to migrate the home page, so the video will not be too long and annoying. So as usual, like I said, we're going to just like create a new Django project. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is to create a Django. I think I already I have the blog to make it very easy for you to follow along. You can visit talentedmigrants.com and then check here. This is the post, so you can just follow along. You can just follow along the first step. Here is the first step. So we have to set the virtual environment. So just visit the blog. I will leave the link down below this video, so you can just visit there and follow along. So you can just copy the commands if you don't want to type everything by yourself. So yeah, we're going to first of all set up our virtual environment. So I'm using the PowerShell. Yours might be different, and you don't have to worry about that because I've actually customized my PowerShell and my command prompt because I use them all the time. So I just want to keep them much beautiful. I mean, much cleaner. Is it much beautiful? I don't think that's correct. Much cleaner. I mean, English. Anyways, so what is the command? You first of all want to navigate. You want to navigate where you want to save your project. For me, I'll just put it in the desktop, and that is to just CD to the desktop, right? CD desktop. And the command to create a virtual environment, we already have it here. I'm very slow in typing. I'm very slow in typing, so we just have to. So this is the command, and I'll just copy it from here. So once you're on the desktop, all you need to do is type pi-m venv. That is the command. Now the first one is mandatory. You don't change it. Just keep it the way it is. The py and the -m, the venv should be the same. You shouldn't change them because those are required. And then the last one here, env, is actually the environment. So you can name it whatever you want. It can be my website, but I think you should keep it like the way it is, environment. Because if you start to use here like my website, and then if you want to create your actual application, what will you name it? Okay, so anyway, you can do whatever you want. You can change it. You can name it whatever you want. But I will keep it like this. So you just press enter, and that should create a new environment for you. Alright, so mine has been created. I just created that environment. If you've got any error, make sure that you have Python installed and Django, and you can check that by typing pi dash dash, I mean, is it that version? Pi dash dash version. Again, I'm very slow typing. Pi dash version. You can see I have the version of Python installed. If you get this one, that means Python is installed. So now that we create the environment, we just created a virtual environment. Now if you open this folder, there's probably going to be 3 folders inside there and then 1 file. As you can see, we have 3 folders here and then 1 file. Well, we don't have to worry about these files for now. Actually, we're not going to be accessing these directly. We're not going to be accessing these files directly, but they are very important files. So just leave them as they are. So the next step is you want to navigate into this this environment. You want to navigate into the environment folder that we just created. So I'll just cd and go into the env, and once you are there, we want to create our Django project. And the command to create the Django project is django-admin start project followed by the name of your project. Again, my typing speed is very slow, so I'll just paste the code there and then I'll explain it to you. So these first two commands are very important, so you don't need to change them. Django-admin start project and then the name of your project. So we don't change this, you just leave them as they are, but the last one here you can name it whatever you want. So it can be Django-admin start project my website, or Django-admin start project test site. So you can name it whatever you want, but there's something you need to be very careful here. So if you name something like this, that is okay. Like this, it's fine, but if you do something like this, it's wrong. This is wrong. This will get you an error. Also, you should not use spaces. Just always use underscore or camel case like this. This is accepted. Okay, so be careful with your naming. So the Django-admin start project followed by your name, and then you press enter, and that should create a new folder within your virtual environment. And as you can see here, this is the new project that we just created. I'm going to go through this really very quick. Again, if you are experiencing, if you are getting an error here, that means your Django or Python configuration is not correct. I will leave a link below the video so you can follow that link to fix it. So now we've created our virtual environment, created our project. What is next? We're probably going to start creating our actual website. So before we do that, let's test the server site. So you have to navigate into that folder, the folder that you created, and then press enter, and then you type py. You can use Python or py, it's all the same. Py manage.py run server, and that will start the virtual environment. Okay, so our server has successfully started. Let's visit that. You can type this URL in the browser, or simply hold down Control and click. That will open the site for you. So yeah, our setup is running. So this is how it's looking, right? We are going to create something like this. We want to convert this thing into the Django. So yeah, okay, so everything is working. Let me stop the server. You can stop the server by clicking Control and C at the same time to stop the server. So this page, this is the default Django page. So we want to customize this. We want to customize this to make it look like this one. Okay, we want to customize it, and this is where the coding comes into play. So we're going to start coding now. So we want to open this file, this folder, we want to open this folder with our favorite text code editor. I'm using the virtual VS Code. I'm using the VS Code, but whatever browser code editor that you have, you can open this folder with your favorite code editor. You can just right click and then open with, or you can use the terminal. So we will cd, I think we are already there. Okay, we just say code dot. If you are already in that folder, we just type code dot, and that will open the folder for you, and in VS Code. So this is where coding starts. So what's the first thing on the browser? The code editor started. What is the first thing? Just cross this thing out. So now we want to customize this page. For this, we need to have our own template. We need to replace everything. So we do that by creating our own template. In Django, these settings can be done in the settings.py file. We have a file called settings.py, and that should reside inside here. So this is the settings.py file. So we need to open this folder. Once it's open, we need to go down to this. Here. This is. We need to make some changes, a little bit of changes here. So since Django it's using its own defaults, and we want to change that. Django is using its default. Django is using its default template to display this default page, and we want to override that. We want to create our own template. Okay, so we have to tell Django, hey, we don't want this, we want to create our own. Remove this, and to do that we have to tell Django where to look for our own custom template. So what we need to do is to we do that here, directory. We just need to go inside these brackets, and then we will type os.path.join, and then we open this brackets. Is it brackets or what? I don't know. So we open that, and then inside this we say base directory. I already have these things popping out. I'll just grab that base directory, comma, and then we say template.
Recedes behind
now
you.
you can see this is highlighting, mean there's something wrong there, and that's because we are calling os.path. We have to import this. We have to import that os at the top of the file. I will do that. So we need to import the os on the top, so we can just place it. I will just place that thing here. Import os, and then if you scroll down, you can see that now everything is fine, right? Now everything looks okay. So what this code does is it instructs Django that, hey, in our base directory, look for our templates inside a folder called templates. So Django will go in our base directory, which is here. This is our base directory. Django will try to look for a folder name template right here, right in our base directory. So we need to create that folder. We need to create a folder called templates. So let's do that. Not here actually. Here we need to create that in the base directory. So just paste that template. Oh no, templates. So we just have to create our templates there. Now Django can have access to this template folder. So whatever we this is inside this folder is where we will create all the different parts of our website, like the header, navigation, footer, and whatever template. So all the templates goes inside this folder. So a website should have a header, a footer, and at least the main body, right? When creating a website, I like to separate the parts. Like the header should have its own part, the footer separate, and the main body should be separate. That's why we have footer. That's why we have header, footer, and index. So I like to call the body part, the main body part, as index, so I can separate the codes. So within this folder, I'm going to create all these parts. So I will just say header.html. Okay, and we also want to create our footer.html, and then the main index. I'll create index.html. Simple. Okay, so we have instructed Django. We'll tell Django to grab our header, our footer, header, and the index from the templates folder. And then we created all these folders, all these files inside there. Will this work if we go and reload our page? Will everything work? Our server has stopped. Let's start the server again. So let's reload the page. Nothing is working. It is in Django. So the default page, the default Django page is still loading, and that is because we have only created a virtual environment. We created our project, but we haven't created our actual application yet. And you might be wondering, what is the difference between a virtual environment, a project, and then an application? Well, if you are creating a Django project, you want to separate them into parts. Now this video is not about how Django works. This is only about converting WordPress website to Django, right? So I don't want to go into much details of Django, how things work, but let me just try to give you a quick overview of what is going on here. The virtual environment is kind of like, it's separate. If you're creating as a developer, you might be working with different kind of projects, and these projects have their own libraries. There are some kind of packages that you might want to install for each project. So the virtual environment helps you run different projects without any conflict. Without the virtual environment, there will be some conflicts. So you might install a package, and that package is going to be conflicting with other packages in across different projects. So you can separate that by creating a virtual environment for each project, which we just did. And then what about the project that we just created? So the project is just a collection of one or more applications, while the Django application itself is the model that can be used in multiple projects. So this is just a quick overview of what the three different things that we just did, what they all do. And if you want to learn more about Django, you can check out our comprehensive guide on Django. So now we've created our virtual environment, we created our project. Now we need to create the application itself. So what we need to do, our server is running, so we have to stop the server by pressing Ctrl and C together, and then we create the actual application. So when we run the manage.py, when we run the Django admin start project, we created a project, and this time the steps, the command is almost the same but a slight different. Instead of project, we just change it to app. So we just type py. No, not py. We type django-admin. Django. Okay, django-admin start up, and then you can name it whatever you want. Mine was okay. I will name mine my site. You can name it whatever you want. Again, these first two commands are very important. You don't change them, just leave them as they are. You can however change this one to whatever you want to. Okay, so I will stay with my site, and then I'll press enter. We should then have my site folder there, which is this guy there. Okay, so we just created our new application. This is going to be our actual website. All right, so we can navigate inside that folder. There are a few things that need to be created. So we'll go into my site here. We need to create a file called urls.py. Again, there's no time for me to explain everything here. If you are new to Django, I highly recommend that you check out our complete beginner course, our complete beginner Django course. It's completely free. Just get yourself familiar. Okay, so we need to create a new file inside this folder called urls. So just go here, urls.py, and we will leave that folder. We will leave this file empty for now. We will definitely need to work on it, but not now. So within the test site, we have the same file, urls.py. So if you go inside this folder, you can see we have a urls.py here. We have a urls.py here, and it's the same file. So we're going to customize this file. So right here, I'll just add comma and then include. And then here we will add path. We'll leave this empty for now, and then we'll use the include function that we just created. We just call imported. Now within these brackets, we want to import the URL. We want to import this, whatever we create here, whatever file or whatever function, whatever code, whatever instructions we put here, we want to import them into our main test side project. So we do that by saying what is the name? My site. So we just type my site dot URL. So we are importing all the links, obviously URL. So this is going to contain just links, URLs of our website, and we want to import these links to our main project. That is it. So now let's return to the new URL file we just created. Before we do that, we have a view file here. Let's open it. You can see we already have some codes there. What we want to do is to configure. We want to configure this file to display the index. This index is going to be the body, the main page or the landing page of our website. We want to configure this view to grab this template and display it instead of the default Django page. And how do we do that? So we need to add something like div. In Django, div means define. You will just say homepage, define homepage. You can call it whatever you want, landing page, homepage, index, whatever you want. The div is important, we don't change it, but whatever follows is the name, so you can change it to whatever you want. So I just say define request, jump out here, we need a semicolon, so we will return something. And then render is where we then actually render the template. So request and its index.html. Okay, finally we need to actually, so this is the page, we are rendering this page. So we need to configure the URL to grab this, to match it to this template. And we need to import some few things. But here we have the URLs. We can just copy the entire thing from here and then paste it here. Then we can remove the admin. We don't need that. We don't need the admin thing there. And we can remove the includes as well, and then from here we will import the views that we have in our test site. So we're going to import this one. We're going to import this my site instead. Sorry, we're going to import these views. So we can do that by say from dot import views. So that will import the views there. I'm also going to remove this one. Okay, and here, let me get rid of everything here. So then what we're going to do is then say views dot homepage. Views dot homepage. As simple as that. Alright, so we are done. So let's just go ahead, start the server and try again. Let me clear the terminal. I'll clear the terminals here, and then we will run the server again. manage.py run server. So let's reload. Wow, you see now we have this blank page. So that means our configurations are working. Everything is working perfect. Now why do we have a blank page? The blank page is due to this file. We're rendering the index.html file, which is this, and that thing is empty. So if we just put anything here like h1 and then say welcome to that, if I can spell that correctly, welcome to the home page, and if we reload, we should then have that thing here. Yeah, see, everything is working fine, right? So this is what we want to do. So Richard, so now that our template is working, it's now time to start importing our WordPress website. Instead of displaying welcome to the home page, we now want to start importing this content into our Django website. So the first thing we need to do is to structure it. We need to have a header. We need to have the we should just have the HTML boilerplate. Okay, so again, you can visit the blog. I will leave the link down below this video. You can just visit it and then just copy and paste the code to make the process much faster for you. So this is the HTML boilerplate. So what we need to do is to just go to the index.html file. So we just open that. We'll open that folder here. And what we need to do is to simply replace this in here. Okay. Now if I reload the page, you notice you might not see anything. You will not see anything in the body, but there will be some changes. There will be some changes here. This title will be changed. As you can see, the title has been changed, and that's because we give it title here. Okay. So since we have our WordPress website ready, it does not make any sense for us to sit down and type all these things ourselves. We don't have to type these things ourselves. We just need to grab it from our WordPress and then put it there and then put it here. We just grab it from our WordPress and then put it here. But how do we do that? You know, WordPress, we cannot get the HTML. We can't get the HTML source code from the admin parts. The admin dashboard. So what we can do is to simply inspect the elements. I will just inspect the element, and then what we're going to do is to copy everything from. We need to grab the HTML. So we will do that. We'll just go start from the body tag. I will just grab everything from here. We already have the header tag. We don't need that, and also we're not going to need all these links there. So I will just copy from the body. We don't need the links. We don't need the links in the header. We will create our own. So I will just copy this. Copy the outer HTML. That is it, and then we will paste it in our index.html file here. There's going to be a whole lot of code. You can see I'm already getting a lot of this is because this underlined thing is because I have a spell checker extension activated on my VS Code, so nothing to worry about. So we have all these things in our index.html. So if we reload this page, we're gonna have a very ugly page there. Wow, you see, so why do we have this? I was expecting some broken website, but this is not the case. And this thing seemed to be loading. This thing seemed to be loading in an iframe. So I think I know the problem. I think I know what the problem is. So we just copy this thing, and this is not the original. In your case, it might be okay, but because I'm using the theme forest, this entire page is wrapped or is displayed in an iframe. So what we need to do is to just open the original link. I'll do that. I'll just check that out. So if we go here, we need to visit the actual site. If I go here, this is let's check this from the top here. It should be somewhere here. Now this is the iframe. See, this is the iframe. That's why this is working. But in your case, if you are using your own, I mean, if I go to my WordPress site and do the same thing, it should work just fine. So if I want to copy this one, view, inspect the elements, and then if I copy this from the header, copy that. Oh, okay, that. Now let's return to our index.html. So I'll just press Ctrl and Z. So we undo the paste, and then I'll paste the one that I just copied, and then reload the page again. You can see that this one is working just fine without the, it's just that it's a very ugly page, of course, yeah, because we haven't added any CSS yet. So the reason why this was displaying in an iframe is because I'm using the theme forest, and they have displayed this thing in an iframe. So I have to just click here. I'm not telling you, I'm not showing you how to steal from theme forest. Be very careful, because these guys, they've spent some time creating these things, so try to always, buy. So we need to open this. We need to open this one. No, okay. Open link in a new tab. I can just close this one. So this is the actual website, and then I'll just inspect the elements and then copy that. So this thing, it should just work fine. I'll copy the outer again. Return to the index.html. Ctrl and Z to undo the paste that we did, and then I can paste it again. Okay, let's reload the page, and then there we go. So we have our site working just fine without CSS. So this is a very ugly page. Okay, so we want to make it look like this. We want it like this. So now we know we are in the right track. So we need to then start working on styling the site itself. Actually, now our HTML, the HTML is ready. We need to import the CSS as well. So how do we grab the CSS? So the CSS, we're going to do the same thing. If we go here, honestly, there's going to be a lot of these CSS things that we don't need. So what I usually do is just hover that any of the elements there, and then go to the style tab. You can see we have this thing there, so I can just right click and open this in the new tab, and then we have a bunch of CSS here. So this is the CSS. We can just copy this one. I'll just copy that, and let's return to the code editor.
The earth recedes behind you like a jewel.
So here we need to configure. We need to create a new folder and name it. You can name it whatever you want, but in Django, it's recommended you should call it the static, because if you are moving to a live server, we're going to configure the server to grab your CSS, your media, and everything from that static folder. So what I will do is just create a new folder here and call it static. And within that static folder, I can create a new file called CSS. Oh no, we need to create a new folder actually. Now within the static folder, I can create a new folder called CSS. Okay, within the CSS, we can have our style.css. You can have as many as you wish. And then I'll paste the CSS code that we just grabbed again, but that will not solve the problem. We still need to link the CSS. If you go and reload the page, I don't know if the server is still running. Yeah, still. If I reload the page, this will still not work, because we have to link the CSS just like we do in any WordPress or HTML site. So we need to link this CSS file. To do that, we just go to the header. We need to go to our index.html, and then here we can link our CSS. Link CSS. Okay, do you think this will work? Style that CSS, just like we usually do. Do you think this is going to work? Well, let's give it a try. But indeed, Django, thing just doesn't work that way. So now that we have our CSS file ready, we need to link it. But how do we do that? In Django, we usually, I mean, not just in Django, but you can see that even in WordPress, we have the same header footer setting across different pages. So if you navigate from page to page, you're going to see the same footer. We don't want to repeat ourselves, so we don't want to link the CSS here. We don't want to link it here, and if the person navigates to the about page or contact us page, we want to do the same thing there. I mean, even this thing, if we define this thing like this here, that means we're going to do the same thing in our about, contact us, and all the other pages, and we don't want to do that. We can just simply create one folder and then call it whenever we want. So to do that, we'll just go here within our template. We can create a new folder and name it I'll name it base. That's the name. Not that I'm naming it, that's how we should call it. Base. We'll call it base.html. Base.html. So I'll just cut this part. I'll cut that one and then paste it here in our base.html. So here is where we can link the CSS. This is where we will link our CSS. So to do that, so this is the code. This is the code that we can use to link the CSS static. We have started, and then this is in Django. This is how we link our assets. And then we need to have this tag. you need to load the static first. Again, I don't want to go into much details explaining what this thing is doing, because this video is already getting too long. So now the index.html file is looking pretty ugly, right? Let's try to clean it up. So I'll just delete everything. Just leave it. Let's leave it like this for now. Let's return to the base. In the base, we can do something like let's hold on a minute. So here we can make things a little bit more cleaner. So let me add these tags here. Just do as I do, because like I said, I'm running out of time explaining everything. So we have the body tag here, and then the closing, and we have our HTML. Okay. Now in the main index.html file, what do we do? I mean, if you go and reload the page, we're going to have a blank page, because here it's now completely empty, right? So let's just fix that really fast. So in the index.html, we want to add this code. First, what this one does, it will just take, it will grab this structure. It will grab that structure. So we will have this here. We will have the entire thing here. What about this? We have the block code main site content, which we defined here. So whatever we put here will be overriding. For instance, if you put hello there, and then here you put how are you, that how are you will be displayed. Let me show you that in action. Let me remove the comments. So I will just put like h1, and I'll say welcome. Then in the header, in the base, I'll put h1 again. I'll say hi there. So let's reload our page. Not here actually. You see, we have welcome. So that thing is being overriding. Here. We are displaying the header in the header is being overridden, but whatever we put here. So that's why we are seeing the welcome there and not the header. Okay. So yeah, we can then override. Everything that we put inside here. So we just get rid of it. So in the base here, we can then start writing things. We can then start writing the actual page content. But first, let's test our CSS to see if it's working or not, because we've linked it here, and we are not overriding that one. Actually, it's still there. So let's test it first. But how do we do that? Let's reload the page. And this thing is black. So let me go in our CSS file and just put some sort of code at the bottom here to see if we can test that. I will just say body and set the background color to red. Now this will not work because, okay, let me just reload the page. This will not work. You see, it's not working. That is because this CSS is just sitting there. We only linked it. We linked it in the base, just like we did in the settings, just like we did here in the settings.py. How we grab the template, we need to do the same thing to get the CSS. So we need to configure that. So to link the CSS, just like we link our template, we need to scroll in our settings.py, we need to scroll down to the very bottom like this. This is where we can do that. So right below here, I will just paste this code there. Just like we did with the OS path and link the base and grab the template from the base directory, we are grabbing the static folder, also located in the base directory. I don't know if you've created it at the right place. Yeah, this is the template and this is our static folder as well. So we're doing the same thing to grab our CSS from the static, and that's why we are loading the static here. So we load the static here, and then we say within that static folder look for CSS, and inside the CSS folder we have our style.css, right, which is this thing. So with that, we should be good to go, and reloading the page, we should see the page turn to red. See? So yeah, our CSS is now working. Let's go to the CSS and remove that background thing. So now that the CSS is working, it's now time to bring back our website, the HTML content. Remember, we can override the content here. So we just need to paste our CSS, our HTML here, and see what happens. So let's go back to our WordPress site, which is this thing. Yes, no, this is the CSS. Okay, so this is the site. We need to grab this HTML like we did before, from the header, from the body to the body tag. So just click here and then copy that. Let's return to the index.html and then paste it here again. And we also want to restructure this code, because we have the header inside here. So we can separate the header, we can move the header to the header.html section. Okay, so let's configure this code. Let's customize it a little bit. I'll have the body tag. It's just like, okay, we have this thing now. Okay, start from here. And you can see
the earth recedes behind you like a jewel.
Yeah, so the HTML has been formatted. I'm going to start separating the code. We need to move the header into our header.html, and we'll do the same with the footer. So we can see we have this header tag here, and we just have to move that one. So I can just cut this and then paste it here. So right there, I'll then include it there. So we can say in Django, I'll just say include, and then is it footer? Header. Header.html. Let's reload the page, make sure we have it correct, and yeah, we still have it there. So we do the same thing with the footer. The CSS, I think we are still missing CSS. That's why we're seeing this giant space here, and the slider as well. That's probably going to be JavaScript and other libraries. So we will have to import all these things before we can get the correct layout. So I'm going to move the footer as well. So we'll move to the footer section. I think somewhere I can search for it. Footer. Good. So here is the footer. I'll just have to move it also. So I've cut it, and we just have to include it also. What am I doing? So include footer. Include footer.html. And then here in our footer, we will just paste it, the footer section also right here. But I don't know why we're having these things here, and we're missing some things. The code is broken, so we have to manually go through the code and fix all these errors. You can see things are broken. So that is it. You can see the site is working. That's just that we are missing some libraries and some things, but everything is working. So the footer is included, and this is it. So all we now need to do is to customize the links, because if you click on any of these, we're going to get error, or it will take you to that particular thing. Because I'm using a template, it will just take you somewhere. So if this is your site, you don't need to do anything. I mean, yeah, if this is your site, you just need to customize the links, the submitted forms, and other things. So we have imported the CSS. Let's go ahead and try to see if we can grab the JavaScript libraries also. But before we do that, let's first of all, we need to create a file.js in our in this static folder. We need to create a new file called JS. And within this JS, we can create our file.js. You can name it whatever you want. We are going to move the JavaScript libraries here. So again, we can go to your WordPress site and look for the JavaScript files and move them. So let's go in here, look for JavaScript in the header and move in the folders, because JavaScript not going to always be linked there. Wait a minute. We're doing this in the header. So first we need to grab the jQuery first. jQuery. CSS. These are all CSS stuff. jQuery. I mean, if we will copy this, just to make if we will copy the outer, and then if we will copy the outer, let me show you. Let me just let me here. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Let me just cross this out. Just cross these out. So I'm going to open. I'll paste the header that we copied, and then I'll just need to remove the extra header thing. I just need to remove this, and then I'll copy. I want to paste this. So instead of having to copy, look for the JavaScript thing, I can just paste the links here. I'll just paste the links here. So if I paste this and then refresh the page, that should work just fine. You see, that is it. So the problem is just to get the CSS and the JavaScript and everything works just fine. Okay, now you can see we have the site. We have the WordPress site working just fine in Django. See, no difference, no difference. Okay, so this is the Django now. This is now in Django. But what did I do? How did you see the slider too is working? Everything is working fine. So I was looking for the JavaScript files. So now what you need to do is see these links. Let's say you want to get the JavaScript. Let me look for a JavaScript file. You see how we can replace it, because these files are being grabbed from that particular website. You have to grab like I have where is the JavaScript? I mean, how is it loading? So you can see to grab this one is going to this website. You can just, if you want, let me look for a CSS instead. So you can see this one.
The earth recedes behind you.
If we just copy this link and open it in the browser, see. So this is the CSS. This is the CSS. So I can just copy the CSS and then save it in my CSS folder, and then call it here instead of linking it like this. And the same goes with the JavaScript. Though we cannot find the script tags here, they are there. Let me show you where to find them. Those should be, let me cross this. Let me close this and save it. Let me show you where they are. These are supposed to be in the footer. So if I go to the footer section, you can see there's going to be a bunch of script tags. So can you look for them? Let me look for these things. Script. I'll just search for it. So you can see we have, so maybe not, that's not. Where on earth are the scripts? I mean, source analysis. So if, let me show you. I mean, let's find the script tags and replace them also. Let's try to search one more here. Script.j. Okay, so you can see we have this. We have this script here. We can download it. We can download it to our server. If I paste that link here, see, this is the script. I can just copy this script and save it to my server instead of having to link it this way. Okay, so that is it. The site is now working just fine. But is this thing responsive? Is it responsive? Let's test that. Yes, it is. It's fully responsive. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be done. successfully migrated the site from Django, from WordPress to Django,
The
and everything
earth
is
recedes
just
behind you like a
perfect.
jewel.
Everything is just perfect. So that is it. In the next video, we will try to migrate the internal pages and then configure forms if there are any. If you've got some forms, of course you should. We will configure those things in our next video. Now that you have the home page working, you need to customize the page, the code. Make sure you make it look much better. There are some errors that need to be fixed. Although the site is working, you still need to fix these errors. That will help you a lot and will help the site perform much better. So thank you very much for watching, and if there's anything, you can always contact me or leave a comment below. If you're facing any errors or any problems, feel free to contact me or leave a comment below. You can also check the blog. I've already posted a blog, so you can visit there. You can visit my blog, so you can follow along and do just as we did. Until then, thank you very much, talented migrants.